If you go to the URL, tinyurl.com/principles of freedom, you'll find there a document that was labored over for over a year by organizers that come from the communities that have been colonized by these so-called United States and the Western European forces that they align with and that they sprung from. The organizers labored for over a year because we absolutely felt the importance of this actually representing our ideals around freedom. And I reference that, A, because one of the principles is a very simple principle that we all know. Housing is a human right.
Yeah.
Woo! And also because I heard a couple of people reference the words that were put together by the founding fathers of this corporation that we call a country: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I thought about something that I read where the original language was life, liberty, and the pursuit of property. And the difference, because they were thinking too, they were thinking just as much as we were thinking about the impact that the document that they were creating would have on the long-term future and the development of ideals and what kinds of things people would demand. And so they changed that word from property and the pursuit of property to the pursuit of happiness, because they didn't want all us regular-ass people thinking we had rights and being able to look at this founding document and suggest that we had the rights that we actually really have, the rights that are acknowledged in the principles of freedom, that housing is, in fact, a human right. It is one of the most basic human rights. Only being able, in my opinion, to be rivaled by the right of food, the right for food and access to healthy food. Another principle: food is freedom.
Yeah.
So we have right now a country and a society and systems that have us actually believing that it is legitimate and right for there to be specific individuals, one person here, 3 people here, who can own so many properties that they could move into a different one every week and not be able to have lived in each one at the end of a year. Why does anyone have the right to have more properties than they could possibly ever live in, when we have other individuals who have to sleep in cars and on the streets because that property is being hoarded away? These laws are invalid and we do not have to be held subject to them. We do not have to be subject to invalid laws that are only put in place to protect a very specific group of people and to control everyone else. That is why they can decide that it's okay to take land from people and build a high-rise with maybe 29 properties in it, 29 households in it, and at the same time say it's not okay for people to sleep on the streets together in one location or another location or another location when they have literally nowhere to go because the housing is being hoarded. It doesn't make any sense. It is our responsibility and our obligation to ensure that every single individual in our human community is treated with love, dignity, respect, care, fairness. And one of the most basic ways we can do that is to move any obstacle out of everyone's way that prevents them from being able to have their most basic human rights honored.
Yeah.
We recognize that these so-called United States it is a corporation that is operating on land that it does not own, and therefore none of these properties owned and actually legitimately protected by this illegal corporation. Just because it has the power and just because it has the military might to assert its authority doesn't mean that that authority is valid and legitimate. It is not. What is valid and what is legitimate is our right to take care of each other and to take care of ourselves, to be able to eat and have access to healthy food that is not farmed and developed in ways that are destroying our planet, and that does not have the nutritional value that we all need, and a bed to sleep in a safe environment. That is why I stand with the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign and as a member of the Poor People's Army. The Peace stands with all of our community.